Welcome back to the channel. A little story about another amazing car dealership. I was driving down one of the roads in London and I saw this car that I had never seen before. It was a Cupra, and I'd heard of or seen the Seat Ibiza Cupras or something in the past, but I didn't realize they'd created a new brand. Anyhow, I wasn't sure what it was, but it looked quite nice. So I thought, okay, why not check it out? So I went onto the internet on their website and I looked at it, and it was the Formentor, the supposedly SUV. And it says it goes up to 0 to 60 in 4 point something seconds and 310 brake horsepower, 4-wheel drive. And I was like, yay, something nice, something new. Maybe I should get that and at least test drive it. So I rang one of the dealerships near me and they said, oh, sorry, we don't have the 310 brake horsepower, but if you call other dealerships, they might have one. So then I rang this other dealership in Kingston, and it's about an hour's drive from my house. So I spoke to this guy who seemed one of those sales assistants that couldn't be bothered with my call, and he was trying to ask me all these stupid questions. How am I going to finance it? I was like, you're asking me the wrong questions because I haven't even driven the car. Finance is a completely different story. Anyway, he booked me an appointment and I had some other meetings and arrangements, so I couldn't make it. But I thought, instead of not turning up, it's polite. So I called him about 4 hours in advance. He wasn't around. They said he's with a customer. And this woman, whose name was Sarah, answered the phone and she said, don't worry, I'll reschedule your appointment for tomorrow. How about 3 o'clock? It's like, okay, great. So she reschedules the appointment, sends me an email. Today, I drove for an hour, got to the dealership. The guy who booked the appointment, he was called Emmanuel, and he wasn't there. So they said, oh, he didn't come to work today. He's off. I'm like, okay. So can someone else help me? I have an appointment. And this other guy called George comes and says, I can help you. And then he started taking down my details. None of my information was on their system. So I was like, strange. They've sent me an email with the booking, and obviously the other guy, Emmanuel, took all these details, but they're not on the system. I thought, okay, some misunderstanding, maybe it didn't go into the system. Benefit of doubt, be nice, be patient. I was doing all of that. And then he says, sorry, the car is not on site, so we can't do the test drive. And I was like, what do you mean? I had an appointment, you sent me an email, and I drove for an hour, and now I'm here and you're telling me the car is not here. So he's like, oh, but I don't know what happened, and Emmanuel isn't here, and so there's nothing I can do. And I was like, no, call your manager because I want to speak to someone. This is ridiculous. Someone could have emailed me or called me. So this woman turns up and she says, how can I help? And I said, well, the person that brought you here must have told you the story. So you don't need to ask me the question again. So basically, I'm an irritated customer, but instead of sort of diffusing the situation, she fuels it. And then she says, well, it was a mistake, so we don't know. And I said, what do you mean you don't know? She said, well, it's not really my fault because I'm not responsible for the actions of the salespeople. And I was like, so you being the manager of this place means you have no responsibility over the actions of the people that work for you? And she's like, no, but we only have one car. I said, all of that is irrelevant. A phone call or an email would have been sufficient. And I said, what's your full name? And she was like, I can't tell you my last name because it's private. And I opened my email and I said, is this your last name? Because you're the one who sent me the email, and now you're just telling me you didn't know anything about it. You're the one who rescheduled the appointment, sent me the email. You couldn't be bothered to tell me that the car wasn't available. And she just mumbled and tried to come up with some other BS. I was just so cross. And I'm like, you're wasting my time. Do you think I'll ever come back to your dealership again? And she was like, oh, when the car comes, we'll do something and we'll send it to your house. And I was like, well, that's fine. But right now, I'm not happy with the service I've been provided. But the bottom line was that she was the manager of that place. These people act like they're entitled to a job. If it was my dealership, I would have fired her immediately for that. Utter nonsense customer service. The minute I saw her, I could see the look on her face and I knew she was going to be incompetent. The thing is, I'm a very nice and kind and calm person, but lately, every incompetent person is testing my patience. So I've decided now I'm going to put these people in their place because they think that the world owes them something. They think they deserve jobs without doing anything. There's a customer who's coming into your dealership to spend money. The company does not pay your salary. I pay your salary. So if you can't even be bothered to be nice to me, polite to me, and provide good customer service, then you shouldn't have a job. It's simple as that. Oh my God, I was so furious. But this guy, George, he actually turned out to be quite a nice guy. And I was like, well, now that I'm here, I want to test drive something. So what about this Cupra Born, the one that looks like an ID3? It's an electric car. And this woman, the stupid, I want to say a swear word, says, but it's not the same kind of a car, it's electric. And I was like, well, I'm here, I want to try something. What difference does it make? Maybe I like this one more. I was like, oh my God. Complete insufferable, annoying people. So this guy, George, then takes me out for a test drive in this Cupra Born. It's an electric car. They say it has a range of 250 miles, which I find hard to believe. Quite a small car. Don't know how much battery they have in it, but it can be extended. I drove it 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It was very sluggish because after driving the Taycan, which is also electric, I was expecting all electric cars to be nippy, but it wasn't. It was okay. And I thought if I was ever to get an electric car, it wouldn't be a big, expensive car. There's no point. I don't believe they have any resale value. I don't think they're going to be long lasting. They're like Apple Watches. You buy one, you throw it away in a few years because they're completely useless. And there'll be more and more technology coming out and advancements, so these cars will become obsolete very quickly. So I thought, I'm not going to buy a Taycan. I think if I was to buy an electric car, it would be a very small city car that you can just drive around town. And for motorways and long journeys, I would still have a bigger car. Anyway, so this chap, he was quite young, his name was George. He was quite good because he tried to diffuse the situation. He talked about good customer service and he apologized for everything. And he was new to this industry and new to the business. And I was like thinking, this guy deserves to be promoted and that woman needs to be fired. Yeah, I was just really cross. I think my channel is becoming a barrage of negativity. But again, as I always say, my channel is my place to talk about the things I feel strongly about, and I don't do it to gain followers and subscribers or make money. It's a hobby. If you're watching this, then you're probably someone like me who expects quality and expects nice things in life and wants the world to be a better place rather than full of incompetent, lazy people who just want to be rewarded for their laziness. So yeah, that was my experience with Cupra. Whether I'll buy it or not is a completely different matter. The service made me think these big brands charge you a lot of money, but they treat you like a king. So it's worth it. Once again, thanks for watching, and until the next one.